And it's just a little confusing because it messes up your rhythm. Something being changed so briefly before the tournament, and I don't think that every team's adjusted to it as well as they could have, and that could definitely that could be a factor here in this matchup. So both teams, it's just one hard point for the whole game, for the whole map, but it still like messes with rotations and messes with setups, and it depends on what your role is, like where you're going to be. We would see Slasher post up in the top side of his hut, and then once his team gets some kills, you'll see him move towards loading. So I'm curious to see what the game is going to look like through Parasite's eyes, right? Because that's sort of the role that he's assumed for Complexity, and then the same on the side of Mochilla. So I think it's going to be a bit of a battle for them, at least around the middle map hard point.
I think the biggest thing that I've seen is a lot of people from the security side. Basically, I think it might be the SDF spawn originally, but they attack from that side at the start, and then obviously it goes to the cell block side. So you maybe think, oh, maybe it's easier to control that side. If you can get a player just sat on the corner on the first hill at the top, just sitting in the corner, have his teammates push out docks and slay out over by the stairs, the spawn trap can keep coming in. You can rack up so much time. Like the first hill usually is a big contest one. You can lock it down to the point where you can get a good like 30, 40 seconds off it as well. But it all just comes down to how well are you going to rotate, and if you don't rotate in time, what are you going to do to try to break the setup from the opposing team? Because you don't just want to get this big lead, like getting this 30, 40 point lead to start off the game, and then the other team rotates before you. You can't break their setup, because then they get such an easy rotation going from that second hill over to that ditch hill as well.
Right. So you've heard a lot here in a little bit of our analysis. Rotations and setups. That's the name of the game in hardpoint. You want to, most of the time, you want to be the first person to that hill, and you also want to have a nice setup, having your team set up different crossfires and making sure you have the biggest choke points watched by your team. So let's see how Complexity works that out and how ALG can respond to it as well. I got to take a look at this again. Royalty. Let's see if he's going with that five attachment class setup. That he is. So I guess that's just sort of a staple for him across all game modes and maps. And no trophy systems. I'm not seeing any trophy systems on the side of anyone there either.
There's one for Sinful.
Oh, there's one.
Yeah,
there
so
we go.
Sin and Royalty are going to be running the trophy systems for this. And just the biggest thing off the start, usually
what cluster grenade. Looks like a cluster grenade.
Usually what you're going to see is it's going to be Sinful going top laundry. It's going to be Parasite going top security. They're just going to kind of duke it out for that. That's going to be the long range battle going down with the NV4s. The rest is all sort of, you're going to send one player out to docks, and there's going to be some engagement going out there. Some players like to send two out there as well. Then they each send one into the hill or two. So it's just kind of like a split in terms of that. But like we said, we want to hop on board with Parasite. This is like the glue. This is the veteran of this Complexity team.
Right, and if you're just tuning in, Complexity versus Allegiance. Allegiance is one map away from closing out this series. Complexity wants to force this game 5. We're starting off with Breakout Hardpoint.
Parasite going to be going into top security right now. It's going to be Sinful right across there, and Laundry Shot's going to be tagging up from both sides. Exotic going to be playing that corner. That's the corner I was telling you about. This is what you do. Just get one player just sat inside there and just have him sit in the hill while the rest just work around, get those spawn traps going, and it can heavily go in your favor.
Engagement's going back and forth. Llama's going to be the one that takes point on the hard point. He does have access to that Oso with the laser sight. So close range engagements, that's where it's going to play into his favor. And we see just how dangerous he's been with this weapon and the attachment combination throughout the whole series. I don't see him slowing down one bit. Currently starting off the game 3-0. He has the K-bar as his secondary, so he's more useful at those longer range engagements. I think Llama's the person to watch here for this next hill.
Yeah, definitely. He's having a great series so far. I mean, we look at the Search and Destroy. That's really the big turning point for him, right? Ever since then, he's been having a very, very good game overall. So getting off to a hot start in this one, 3-0, picking up the scrap time, 41-0. And like I said, you can get that like 30 to 40 seconds starting off on that side. And that's exactly what they did. They capitalized on it. You can thank the plays from Exotic from sitting inside of the hill, and you can also thank Llama for that one, and then Parasite watching over top.
All right. Retake coming in. Complexity's trying to take over from Allegiance here, who has the initial time in the hardpoint world. He's able to take down Swarley on the push, but again, Llama's Oso, those close range engagements can come out on top. And in a hardpoint like this, where you really just have people sliding at you, and this is where hip firing will benefit you, this is where laser sight really comes into play. So look to see Llama do some big things here on this hill.
Spot one out there. He's going to be able to take that. Osa's going to win that one 9 times out of 10. He's Sinful trying to be just a little bit of a nuisance inside of the hill, and you're seeing the power of it, right? You're seeing why he is 6-1 and why he's on a 3-kill streak. About to overlap the Scarab. The rotations coming in. ALG going to be the first team over in ditch. Look to have a pretty nice setup so far. No lethal streaks that can come in from the side of Complexity just yet. So look for Allegiance to get some good time off this one. This is the ideal setup that you want. I'm going to stay on board with Remy right now. It's going to be sitting over here by the yellow bulldozer.
So here it is. Most of Complexity's players pushing in through Cave. Several kills going in their favor. Remy spamming that Osa, but nothing coming from it. Exotic's going to turn and burn, shutting him down. And Complexity is awarded with some hill time. That was an excellent 3-1 pinch on the hard point there, and they're awarded with some time. Allegiance now spawning out on the opposite side of Cave, so that should give them even more time to just push through there and force them to spawn even further on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, definitely should. Parasite going to be the player inside the hill now, about to break 100 points, while Allegiance has yet to even break 50. It's not looking hot for them so far. It's going to be one player back in the helipad area. It's going to be Exotic. The player a lot of people might not truly know about, trying to get some revenge against his old team. Like we said, the bad blood between him and Mochila is very real. Dropped from the team, now he's going up against them on the, this time going to be going facing against them on Complexity. And he will be taken out back there in the helipad. Control going to Allegiance once again, but like we said, they rotate early, but can they just hold this setup without Complexity breaking?
So that's Swarley, the closest one to the action, surrounded by all Allegiance players. Royalty's is going to shut him down real quick, and Sinful's going to find another kill into Exotic. And it's really just looking like a really disorganized push from Complexity. They got to get it together soon here if they want to hop on this hill, because a lot of it's just going unanswered. Allegiance is racking up some time.
Yeah, it all starts with that kill right there from Parasite to open things up to try to get a distraction. Now they're going to be able to get this crucial last 20 seconds on this hill, but Allegiance was able to bring it right back. They're only down by 40 now, so what was looking like a bloodbath is slowly becoming looking more and more favorable for Allegiance. They just need to try to get a good hold on this next hill if they want to gather some momentum as they head into the future of this game.
Rotation coming in. Exotic's going to give up those last few seconds of scrap time to try and get a head start on rotating over to mid-map again. Loading a little surround here. We got one player up top in the hard point looking towards loading, so it's not really easy for him to push out. He wins the gunfight anyway. That's huge. Stays alive for just a few more seconds here. You need Exotic to stay alive here around loading. He's still keeping the pressure up on middle map. Takes down Mochila. Swirly finds a kill. Exotic played that so well after that initial gunfight.
He definitely does. Swirly going to be inside the hill. He will be taken out. So a lot more contention going down on this one. But Parasite is going to decide that he's going to hop in the corner with the MV4, not challenge anything, just kind of trying to peek up and spot check. But will be taken out by the hands of Royalty. Now the overextension is going to be coming in. You see on the minimap it's going to be Swirly and Exotic trying to make something happen here. And Remy's going to be left alone, and he will be taken out. So trying to fight that 2 versus 1, you're not going to win that. The rotations coming in from both sides. Big gunfight going down up top there. It's going to be Swirly coming out on top once again. Now everything in control of Complexity.
Complexity's ready and willing. Nobody from Allegiance really on the rotation yet. There we go. Now they're finally starting to come in from mid-map. 2 players going to come in from the back. 2 players cutting in from mid to this hard point. Got one Complexity player as a front line. That's Swirly waiting for him, pre-aiming, shuts down Mochila, catches one player on the side for a team shot. 3 in a row going in favor of Complexity. Llama has access to that Scarab, doesn't need it just yet though. He's also got access to Rewind, so that could be big for him. Like I said before, this is a big part of the map for him with this Osa, and you can see it. It's reflected in the scoreboard just how much he's done on the hard point. A minute and a half, so much more time than anyone else in the lobby. Llama's really contributing a lot in the objective and the kill column for his team.
There's one of the big reasons Complexity are doing what they're doing right now. You're going to see Sinful utilize that Rewind. Has the Hornet in hand, trying to track down this player who is inside the hill contesting. He is going to be able to take him out. So the last 10 seconds of this going to be going to the side of Allegiance. Now, we brought it up before, right? They had a 4-man stack over by this new ditch hard point. They were all rotated early. They had such a good setup, but the push for Complexity was just too overwhelming for the one player that was watching Cave. Are they going to replicate this one? Exotic is going to be the player that is trying to challenge it. Going to spot turnaround at the back. Gets the call out from his teammate. Now it's just time to be patient and wait for his teammates to come up for the finish.
And no dead silence, so they're going to hear him blasting and thrusting around the corner. They're going to turn and get that trade kill immediately. However, he knows he's still needing to push. I knew he was going to die, but that gave his team a good enough distraction to follow it up with 2 kills. So, excellent trading there coming in from the rest of the Complexity roster to take an advantage off of that play. Llama as your front line with the Osa, waiting for someone to turn the corner, but Swarley catches them before they're even a threat. And now we're going to see him be the aggressor. Mochila shuts him down. That's 2 kills. And the trade again coming in from Exotic, so just efficient trading from Complexity.
If you need the Mochila from the first hard point to try to make a comeback in this one, you see he's going to be rocking the K-bar, so a little bit switching there with him and Sinful. See what he's going to be able to do here, try to turn things around to keep their hopes alive. This is where we did see a turning point for Allegiance the last time on this rotations, where they really start to bring the game backwards. I mean backwards. They tried to bring the game back, so see the Commissary Hill, it's going to go right back into favor of Complexity. It's just Exotic, you can't really stop him right now. He's been the guy that you really need to watch. Him and Llama have just been doing all the work for Complexity.
It really feels like LG's just run out of steam. They're just getting outsmarted right now. It doesn't really feel like they're doing anything too creative. It doesn't really seem to have any crazy coordinated plays. Complexity is just playing the fundamentals of hardpoint much better. But now we're seeing a two-man flank coming in from ALG. Just as I said, that they set something up to try and get a play in some hill time. It works out for them. Player 4, Llama, though, coming in from mid towards loading, is able to find himself a kill. ALG again set up. One player trying to make a hero play. He's going to get... Oh, no. Swirly actually finds the kill. Exotic catches another. Swirly finds 2. Clearing out the hard point completely by himself, and he gets the scrap time for it. So now we should see the rotation coming in towards mid again.
Parasite's going to have the FTL jump if he does not use that one. The setup, playing from the side that is preferable. And then they have the players sitting in the corner of the hardpoint hill as well. So this is exactly what you want if you're on the side of Complexity. Parasite having himself a little bit of a party here. He's going to be over by Docs. Now he's going to be pushing forward over towards the steps. Is he going to be able to find this player? No, he is not. It's going to be Remy coming up on top in that engagement. But 230 to 131. Things are looking so good for Complexity.
Great shots from Remy there for sure. Royalty and Simple follow it up. Setting up Allegiance with some awesome map pressure on middle map. Spawning Complexity way far out to the left side of your mini-map in the top left corner of your screen. So you can see they really only have time for one more push. But I think that most of them are going to opt to go ahead and rotate.
Yeah, this last 20 seconds, I mean, it's big for Allegiance with how much they're down. But now the biggest thing is Mochila going to be able to hold back these 2 players? Or is the support going to come? So there's going to be one player pushing stairs. Parasite's going to be able to take out Royalty. Now Mochila has to deal with Parasite. He should know that he has an NV4, so it's going to be hard for him to win these long-range engagements. Parasite going to come up on top, and that completely opened things up again for Complexity.
Allegiance though finding the initial time with the cell block hardpoint. Llama pops the Royalty pops the low overdrive. Llama gets the shutdown on him. And Remy's going to hit the wall run flank here. Hoping to find an engagement soon. That he does. Shots in the beatdown. Connects with another kill. Going for the spray transfer on the 3rd, and he finds it. Allegiance. They're trying to make this comeback here as Complexity is only 14 seconds away from forcing the game 5. They need to go big. They fell asleep for most of this map. But Remy starting to come to life here. He has access to the reactive armor. If he pops that, finds himself a few more kills, Allegiance is going to be in a much more viable position to come back here. He's going to have score streaks, and they're going to be, just 30 seconds behind.
This is going to be huge, and Remy needs to make sure he plays for these streaks. He can't be caught with his pants down anywhere. He needs to try to get these, because it can be huge. You're heading to the next 2 hills that are completely out in the open, and it can benefit you so greatly, but there's going to be one player just sitting in the corner. That is going to be Llama. Going to be taking him out. Yep, burns reactive armor, and gets taken off his streaks as well.
So now Complexity just 5 seconds away from closing out this map and forcing a game 5. No one from Allegiance is in range, just 2 players, but they're heavily outnumbered, and that's going to be a map win for Complexity. We're going to game 5, Dirk.
It was starting to look real good for Allegiance with that little hot streak that Remy was getting on. I feel like if maybe, like I said, he was taking a very big risk pushing through mid. You know somebody's going to be watching a flank somewhere, and he got taken out. It could have been a different story, especially if you have streaks going into that hill, completely open that up. So we're heading to a match number 5. Like you said, it's going to be Search and Destroy on Crusher.
Search for Strong Crusher. I wonder if we see the sniper come out from Mochila again, maybe to look over middle map. Some other interesting strategies we've seen on this map is when they're attacking indoors.